Let me first make a reference to Oswald's address book, which is in volume 16, XVI, and it's Commission Exhibit 18. Now, if you turn to page 40 in this volume, page 40 being page 40 of XVI, you will see the number written in Oswald's handwriting, PE 81951. PE 81951. If you go to XXV 25, the Jack Ruby's phone calls, you will find that on June 10th, 1963, Jack Ruby called PE 81951. That's the same phone number that Lee Oswald has in his address book as printed in volume 16 of the exhibits. Perhaps the more significant example to us is the fact that Ruby and Oswald have been seen together, but I cannot go into that at this time because we get into an area of evidence which I'm not free to comment on. But
you have witnesses, however, who have said they've seen Ruby and Oswald together.
Oh, yes.
In Dallas or here?
In more than one city, if you don't mind my putting it that way. Now, another connection to come from another direction is the fact that Jack Ruby had a business acquaintance named Bertha Cheek, and there were several real estate transactions in which Jack Ruby and Bertha Cheek worked together, and they know each other in a business way, and that's been established without any question, because you can even find that in the Warren report. Now, Bertha Cheek has a sister named Earlene Roberts. Earlene Roberts was the landlady where Lee Oswald was living when he was killed at 1026 North Beckley. So you have there the case of Bertha Cheek being a business associate of Jack Ruby. Bertha's sister is Earlene Roberts. Lee Oswald is staying at Earlene Roberts' house when he's arrested. So again, there's another correlation.
Isn't this just a coincidence, however, rather than something more solid, like somebody who'll swear they've been seen together?
Any one of these, actually, this is what you call circumstantial evidence. And your question is certainly a good question to ask, but the answer is that circumstantial evidence is actually, to man that's practiced law, circumstantial evidence is actually more binding and harder to get away from than witness evidence, because sometimes the eyes can be mistaken. You say, is this coincidence? Any one of these factors of correlation could be coincidence, but the steady accumulation of them is not. To sum it up, it is impossible that they did not know each other. How wide is a conspiracy? It is finite in the sense that it has limits. It is not such a huge thing that it is unsolvable.
We are at the office of Penn Jones, Jr. in Midlothian, Texas, 25 miles from the Dallas courthouse. For the past 2 years, he alone in the Dallas area has conducted an independent investigation into the assassination of President Kennedy.
Well, I love President Kennedy very much. I was one of the few weekly newspapers that covered the Ruby trial. And my actual investigating did not begin until I started reading the Warren report and realized that something was very, very much amiss in reading that report. I really believe that the only way you can believe the Warren report is to not read it.
Have you found it difficult to uncover the facts this time?
Yes, it's very difficult. Witnesses are reluctant. Some of them have gone into hiding, or at least cannot be found by me. And in many cases, the police have actually told, or some witnesses say federal authorities have told them not to talk about the assassination. The witnesses are frightened. Some of them went into hiding. I'm sure that I spent at least 1 month searching for Earlene Roberts. And I don't know of any person, any newsman, or any investigator that talked to Earlene Roberts after she testified before the Warren Commission. And her testimony was quite startling.
Mrs. Roberts told Commission counsel of a rather mysterious incident which occurred just after Oswald entered the rooming house on November 22nd. At approximately 1 p.m., she said, a police car drove up to the house at 1026 North Beckley and parked outside. Questioned by Commission counsel, where was it parked? It was parked in front of the house. Did this police car stop directly in front of your house? Yes, it stopped directly in front of my house. Where was Oswald when this happened? In his room. Were there 2 uniformed policemen in the car? Oh, yes. And one of the officers sounded the horn? Just kind of a tit-tit, twice. The commission did not satisfactorily explain why a police car stopped in front of Oswald's dwelling, or why the policeman sounded the horn twice and then drove away just before he came out.
Now, of course, she is dead.